All right, so you did it. You treated that corner office for a startup garage. If that's you, then this is for you. We're about to dive into a real mentor's guide, for taking all that corporate expertise and actually building something that matters, especially when you're tackling some of the world's toughest markets. So let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about the world you just left behind. You climbed that ladder, right? You chased the titles, you got the raises. But what if I told you that the whole system, the very definition of making it, was kind of designed to be a trap? It sounds a little crazy, I know, but trust me, the math does not lie. I want you to really think about this for a second. Think about that last big promotion you got. The one everyone slapped you on the back for. A few months later, did you actually have more money in your savings account? Or did you just feel more stressed out and somehow even more broke? Well, there's a name for that. It's called the promotion paradox. See, it always starts with a number that looks amazing on paper. Let's just say you get a $15,000 raise. That's the number you tell your family, the one that gets all the congratulations. You feel like you finally unlocked some real financial breathing room. But that's the gross number, and it's dangerously misleading. Okay, so here's where that big win starts to just melt away. On that 15 grand raise, you could immediately lose over $5,000 just because you're in a higher tax bracket. Then maybe another 2 grand in benefits that, phase out at your new income level. All of a sudden, your big win is less than $8,000. You've lost almost half before you've even spent a single dime. They don't exactly put that part in the offer letter, do they? And this is where the trap really snaps shut. With that fancy new title comes a whole set of unwritten rules and expectations. This is what we call the prestige tax. Suddenly, your old car doesn't seem quite right for meeting clients, your wardrobe needs a serious upgrade, and you're kind of expected to be at every optional networking dinner. These aren't really choices anymore. They're the new cost of doing business at your level. And this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? Your real after-tax raise might come out to what? $656 a month. But that prestige tax, a new car payment, nicer clothes, those networking events, that can easily run you over $1,000 a month. You are now officially spending more than you're gaining from the promotion. So let's just get to the bottom line. After all is said and done, that big promotion, that shiny symbol of success, could be draining your bank account by over $400 every single month. You're working harder, you're more stressed out, and you are financially worse off. That is the treadmill you escaped. So now let's make absolutely sure you don't go and build a new one. Breaking out of that financial treadmill, that's just step one. The next, and maybe even harder part, is breaking out of the mental one. You see, leaving the corporate world isn't just a career change. It's a total identity shift. The very habits that made you a star employee can be the exact things that sink your new venture. We have to escape the corporatepreneur trap. That's the person with an employee's mindset who's trying to run their own business. The legendary book, The E-Myth, just nails this. Most founders, they start out as technicians. They're amazing at the work of the business. But to truly succeed, you have to become the entrepreneur, the visionary who works on the business, not just in it. You have to be the one designing the systems and the strategy for the future, not just grinding out today's tasks. So how do you make that leap? It starts with adopting what's called the franchise mindset. This means you build your business from day one as if it were a prototype for 1,000 more just like it, even if you have zero plans to franchise. It forces you to create systems so clear and processes so repeatable that the business can run successfully without you having to be there hands-on all the time. So where do you even start? Here are your first concrete steps. Number 1, be brutally honest with yourself. Which role are you playing right now? Technician, manager, or entrepreneur? 2, start documenting everything. I mean, everything. Create the playbook for your core functions. And 3, schedule it. Literally block out time on your calendar every week to work on the business, not just in it. That time is non-negotiable. Okay. Once you've got the right mindset, you can start laying the actual bricks. Building a scalable company, especially one that serves really complex markets, means you have to get a few foundational blocks perfectly right from the beginning. We've covered mindset, that's your internal compass, but there are 3 other pillars that form the external foundation. And if you get any one of these wrong, your legal structure, your access to capital, or your ability to bring in the right talent, your growth is going to hit a ceiling way before you even get off the ground. And that foundational mindset It has to be laser focused on impact. A mission to just be the best is, well, it's vague. It doesn't really attract anyone. But a mission to solve a specific, painful problem for a specific group of people, now that is a North Star. It guides every single decision, and it acts like a magnet for the right team, and importantly, the right capital. Now, please don't mistake this for just boring paperwork. Your choice of legal structure, whether you're a for-profit, a nonprofit, or some kind of hybrid, is a massive strategic decision. It dictates who can invest in you, the kinds of money you can raise, and how much freedom you'll have to pivot and scale down the road. This one decision can either be your launch pad, or it can be a cage. Okay, let's get specific. If you're building a business for the base of the pyramid, we're talking about the billions of lower-income consumers that make up some of the biggest but most underserved markets on Earth. The single most important rule is this: listen, don't assume. I promise you, your corporate assumptions are almost certainly wrong here. This is such a classic story. The huge cement company Cemex assumed that lower-income customers needed smaller, cheaper bags of cement. So they launched them, and they completely failed. Why? Because they didn't understand that having a big bag of cement sitting outside your home was a powerful status symbol. They sold a product, but they totally missed what the customer actually wanted. And here's another one. Vision Spring was losing its best female sales agents in rural India. It turned out that their success was actually creating social tension back home. The solution wasn't a better commission plan. It was going out and engaging directly with the male heads of households to get their buy-in. Understanding the local social dynamics was the real key to a sustainable business model. And this just perfectly illustrates a core truth about these markets. Your competition isn't just another startup selling a similar widget. Your real competition is the status quo. It's the existing behavior. You're not competing with another solar lamp company. You're competing with kerosene. You have to understand and then overcome the inertia of how things have always been done. Okay, so you've rewired your mindset. You're deeply in tune with your customer. Now it's time to put it all together into a blueprint for smart, sustainable growth. This is about moving from just having a great idea to building a scalable, resilient enterprise. Here are the final 4 keys to actually putting this into motion. You need a ruthless, and I mean ruthless, focus on a price that works and is viable. You have to absolutely nail the core parts of your business model, especially distribution. You need crystal clarity on how you're going to scale. And finally, this one is totally non-negotiable. You need strategic partnerships. Nobody succeeds alone in these markets. Just look at Yara, a massive fertilizer company. To reach smallholder farmers in Africa, they don't even try to do it all themselves. They partner up with coffee traders, local processors, NGOs, organizations that already have the trust and the distribution channels. They just plug into the existing ecosystem. Look, you did the hard part. You saw the corporate treadmill for what it was, and you jumped off. But as you build your own thing, be brutally honest with yourself. Are you intentionally building a ladder to real freedom and impact? Or are you just designing a new, more personal kind of trap? The choice, ultimately, is yours.